Hello and welcome to the Six and Out podcast powered by Sports News Blitz. This is the all-new podcast solely focusing on all the latest cricketing news as it happens. Myself, Bilal and Dejan will be here to talk you through things. Dejan, lovely to see you. First of all, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. I'm really excited to get this podcast going. Such a massive cricket fan, so to be able to do this it's just great.
Good stuff. I mean, it's only right we start with last night's IPL final. Royal Challengers Bangalore defeating the Punjab Kings by 6 runs. Intense final. RCB, they break the curse. Their first trophy win in 18 seasons. I mean, your thoughts on last night's final?
I mean, as an RCB fan, that was the biggest emotional roller coaster ever. I was like panicking, going through so much stress in my brain. But to be able to get that first win, it's such a special moment. I cried a lot last night.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw Virat Kohli there on the field. Obviously, he was very emotional. He's been there from the start. I mean, for him, that's sort of everything ticked off the list, hasn't it? I mean, he's won everything in terms of international cricket, but this was the one eluding him, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just so happy for him. He's given so much to that franchise, and he's been through so much heartbreak as captain. Now, obviously, and now it's just a player. And, for him to finally have this moment, he's such a special moment for him. Like, it can't help but feel so proud of him. Like, being there last night, him, crying. It's it really, really hit me like here in the heart. So, yeah, unbelievable moment.
Yeah, and on the final itself, I mean, 190, I think it was on the board. And then a lot of people were saying it was below par. It was a batting friendly pitch, especially batting second, potential dew coming in.
That's what I thought.
But the fact that the bowlers held their nerve, and I want to give a huge shout out to Krunal Pandya. Ended up getting man of the match, coming in as a spinner in a tricky wicket to bowl spin on. I mean, he did an excellent job, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's had such an incredible season. I mean, to take 17 wickets from a left-arm spinner, and as kind of maybe third or fourth choice bowler, for him to do that, he's been RCB's go-to man, along with Josh Hazlewood, obviously. So, I mean, yeah, what a performance yesterday to, Punjab had such a good start as well. I mean, their openers, they put him in a really good position and their top order, but then when he came in, he slowed everything down in terms of the run rates. And then, of course, he bowled with such good variation as well. He mixed up his paces and his lengths. And, because of that, he managed to really restrict the batting and took 2 massive wickets as well.
Yeah, and then you touched on Josh Hazlewood. I did see a stat where every final he's played in, he's never lost. So someone like that is good to have on your side. And I want to sort of give an overall mention to the foreign players. I mean, you had Phil Salt, the top of the order, Romario Shepherd, the West Indian all-rounder, and also the likes of Tim David. I know he wasn't playing last night, but he's had a key influence. I mean, just the role of the overseas players, how big have they been for RCB?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I go back to the auction in December. I was actually really upset as an RCB fan at the auction because I remember we didn't get KL Rahul, we didn't get Chahal, we didn't get Stark, we didn't get like Rabadas, but we secretly had like such an incredible auction of buying just a really good squad, and then of course to go with the overseas players. I mean, David obviously, being injured at the end, but had such a good season, finishing off a lot of games for us. Hazlewood's, to take 21 wickets in a season and to only play 11 games is incredible. Hazlewood's been such a valuable asset to us this season. Romario got Shreyas Iyer out in the final, both batting and bowling. He's contributed massively. And obviously Salt at the top of the order, he's been such a game changer for us, his aggressive nature has got us off to so many good starts. So yeah, massive shout out to the overseas players. They've been incredible.
Yeah, and obviously just on the overall season, I mean, it's been quite a longer season than expected, obviously around 2.5 months. One team that obviously didn't get the results and obviously had a disappointing season was the Chennai Super Kings. Obviously, I think RCB, CSK, they do have that rivalry. But I mean, with CSK, I mean, I sort of felt they had a decent enough auction. I mean, they got likes of Noor Ahmed, Afghani leg spinner.
Yeah, great tournament.
And they retained a few of the key players, but it just would have clicked for them. And I think especially in the batting department. I don't know about you.
I think their bowling had a good tournament with the ball. I think Noor Ahmed had a fantastic tournament to take 24 wickets. I think Khalil Ahmed also had a very good season. Left arm seamer. Hopefully he can maybe make that jump back into the international game. But yeah, the batting even at the start of the season, there was question marks about what the top order was going to be, whether, especially now then with Gaikwad getting injured, it was never going to be easy to replicate the amount of runs that he scores. But the likes of Tripathi, the likes of Rachin Ravindra, Devon Conway, maybe with the exception of maybe Ayush Matre, Chennai's batsmen, they just weren't in form for this tournament. And, it led to them not, they didn't chase a score over 180. And they haven't in like 6 years or something like that. So, I think it's an aging team. I think Chennai need to have a proper reset for next year. Maybe get a couple of younger players in, more fresh faces, and hopefully CSK will come back though, because having CSK back, the crowds and everything, it's vitally important to have them at their best.
Yeah, definitely. Far from best season for their standards anyway. The age-old question is, obviously, MS Dhoni, he's still going strong for the franchise. Is it time to move on? Like I said, they did sort of find the younger talents, obviously with the likes of Del Brevis, Ayush Matre as well. So is that sort of the sense of direction they need to go in?
Yeah, I think it is. I think as harsh as it may be, because Dhoni's, he's such a legend in Indian cricket and, in the IPL and everything. He's probably caused RCB more heartbreak than anybody else. So that's not been great. But I think it is time. I think he's, and it happens to everybody, age, it gets to everybody. But I don't know if Dhoni's capable of having a season where he has because, obviously his keeping is still incredible. He's still one of the best keepers around, but batting wise, you've seen his strike rates have lowered this season. A lot of times he's struggled to kind of get away and get going in innings. And he's done it once or twice this season, but, consistently for a batsman, I don't think he's done it. So I think he should call it there. It doesn't take away from the incredible career he's had.
Yeah, definitely. And another team I want to touch on is the Mumbai Indians. I think it was just one win in 5 games. They look to be down and out, look to be a repeat of a few previous seasons, but they managed to string a few good results. I think it was 6 in a row, and then that sort of brought them right back to the top around playoff contention. And they were looking good as well. And then they managed to get to the playoffs. And then obviously just falling short against the Punjab Kings in the qualifier too. How would you sort of rate their season, considering the fact that they had such a poor start?
I think Mumbai, especially in terms of how they turned it around, I think definitely take a lot of pride away from that, and they can definitely be proud of that. I think the key thing for them was getting Rohit Sharma back in form at the top of the order, and as well, Jasprit Bumrah obviously came back from injury, didn't have the best first couple of games. Everybody struggles, especially when they just come back from injury. But Bumrah then, the way he finished the tournament was just unbelievable. And then, to have them two, playing as well as they did towards the end, to go along with Surya and his consistency. And then, of course, players like Will Jackson stuff, didn't have the best of first seasons, was a bit inconsistent, but I still think if you keep hold of him, that's still a top player there.
Yeah, and like I said, there were quite a few English players on show, and obviously, moving back, obviously, it was the start of the white ball international summer for England. Obviously, they played the West Indies, first era series under Harry Brook, 3-0 against the West Indies. How would you assess Brook's first series as white ball captain?
Relatively comfortable. Look, it's a weak West Indies team. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. They had a couple of decent performances in the series from individuals, but they didn't play well as a team whatsoever. But look, can't take anything away from Harry Brook. It's always vitally important, especially as a captain, to start off well and, to get a clean sweep, 3-0 win in your first series. It couldn't have gone any better for him with and his batsmen as well. Given again the likes of Jamie Smith at the top of the order, he really showed just what a talent he is, and it's looking like a good balanced team right now.
Yeah, I mean, you speak on the new talent, obviously, likes of Smith, Jacob Bethel.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can't forget the class of Roots, especially in that second ODI, 166 not out. I mean, he virtually carried the bat, coming in 1-for-1 in the first over, and then obviously seeing it right till the end, even when wickets were falling round him. I mean, it's just a reminder of his class, isn't it? I mean, and the fact that he was able to obviously produce the chase and obviously chase the runs down. I mean, it's just a testament to how good he's been for England.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just shows everyone how valuable experience can be. He's been around for still so long now. I mean, he's by far now for me England's greatest ever batsman. Most runs in Test cricket and ODI cricket is unbelievable. And coming in the first over, it's never easy against a new ball to start off. But I mean, he's been doing it for so long now, and I mean, as well, it's different because with Joe Root, because I mean, even that one, it was off 139 deliveries, so it's a decent strike rate in ODI cricket to get above a runner ball and everything. Like 23 boundaries, I think overall. So really showed his aggressive side, and yeah, I mean, he's just such a wonderful player, man. So it's great to watch, and yeah, amazing for England, to have him in tremendous form, especially going into the summer.
Do you think that sort of aggressive nature that we've seen, obviously with the Bazball, Brendan McCullum with the Test side, he's now the coach of the white ball sides in ODI and T20. Do you think that will sort of have a knock-on effect on the batters?
How do you mean? Do you mean like in terms of the players that are coming in?
Yeah, I mean, just the way the strike rate and obviously just scoring the runs quickly. I mean, we saw in the first ODI, they managed to score 400 without anyone scoring 100. But it was just quick partnerships, obviously going after the attack, really. And we've seen that in the Test arena. I mean, is Brendan McCullum sort of having an influence on that?
I'd like to think so. I think what England are doing really well right now, and what McCullum's doing really well right now, is they're picking players who suit that style. Because I don't think, as talented as he is, obviously, he's a prodigious talent, but I don't know if Jacob Bethel would be as good as he is right now if he was playing in a different management. But McCullum, they've given him that belief to say, right, he's going to play all formats. Coming in number 3 in England in Test cricket, obviously right now it's not easy for him to play consistently because England batsmen are in such incredible form, but hopefully he gets a run there in the future. So, with the likes of Bethel and Jacks and Duckett, Jamie Smith, I do think that Bazball is having an effect, but I mean, it's working. I mean, they're all in some of their best form right now. So it's definitely having a positive influence on the team.
Yeah, and then obviously in terms of the bowling, I mean, Adil Rashid, I mean, every time he puts on an England shirt on, he's just excellent. I mean, he's 37 now. People think, oh, we should move on from him, but I think he's deservedly earned his place in the team. Yeah. He's doing well to keep his place in the team, and obviously he keeps him producing. Obviously, in yesterday's ODI, picking up 3 wickets. And then obviously I want to give a shout out to Saqib Mahmood as well. Obviously, he's had a troubling time with injuries. Obviously with the shoulder and for Lancashire as well. So him coming back and obviously and the pace attack as well. It does look solid, even though they are missing the likes of Mark Wood and Jofra Archer as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's England right now just have a really good in terms of depth, especially when it comes to the pace bowling. I mean, you look at Bryden Carse, you look at Saqib Mahmood, obviously, and obviously that's just in all formats as well. I mean, in Test cricket, they've got a really good depth as well with Potts and Josh Tong and everybody. And of course, I mean, Rashid's just such an incredible performer, and he, showing why, especially in terms of in the modern era, he's one of the most underrated bowlers in white ball cricket. I'd say history. I'd say in terms of to be at the age that he's at and still take the wickets that he does and be such a threat is just phenomenal. I mean, he's consistently been doing it year upon year now. And yeah, I mean, at the age of 37, it feels like he's just still getting better and better.
Yeah, and then you talk about the depth of bowling. I mean, obviously, we've got the 5-match Test series against India. coming up, and then obviously the Ashes away down under. Speaking on Test cricket, actually, it is this time next week will be the final of the World Test Championship between Australia and South Africa at Lords. But obviously, a few retirements in the cricketing world in this coming days. Obviously, Glenn Maxwell retiring from ODIs, and then Heinrich Klaasen retiring from international cricket. I mean, just on Glenn Maxwell, I mean, when I think of him, I just think he's the modern epitome of the modern batter. Just his style, his flair, his aggressive nature. And for me, probably the greatest ODI knock ever when he scored that 201 not out in that chase against Afghanistan. Against all 100%. The odds.
I mean, he was on one leg. He was on one leg.
Yeah, literally. I mean, for him, I mean, how big of a miss will it be for Australia?
Yeah, he will be, because, you know, especially in the last couple of years, what I've noticed with Maxwell, especially in ODI cricket, is that he's bowling a lot more. And he's taken a lot of wickets as well in the last couple of years. But and of course his batting is just, when he gets it right, he's a game changer for anybody. I mean, just got an email. But anyway, he's such an incredible talent. I mean, one of my earliest memories actually of cricket is 2013, India playing Australia in this, like, the 7th ODI or something. And I was just a kid and I didn't know what was going on. But then, like, Maxwell in Australia were like 70 for 4 or something, chasing like 380. And Maxwell came in, and first ball he swept Ashwin for 6. And he just belted the Indian bowling. He got 50 off. I think it was like 18 balls or something. I think that's like Australian record. And then I'll never forget, I can't remember who got him out. I think it was like Vinay Kumar or something. I think Jadeja took a running catch. And I'll never forget, my dad was like up and he was like screaming and cheering. I was just sitting there like, what is going on? But yeah, he's such an incredible talent.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Maxwell. I feel like he's always been suited to like Asian conditions, whether it be in India, Pakistan, UAE, Sri Lanka.
He's such a good player of spin. That's what it is.
I mean, that's it. That's what
to be able to go all around the ground with the switch hits and everything like that. He's always going to be a threat in those conditions.
Yeah, another good player of spin, Heinrich Klaasen. Obviously, he's announced he's retired from international cricket. The recent contract list that came out, he wasn't retained, which came up to a bit of a shock for some reason. And that may have influenced the decision. I mean, again, like Maxwell, how big of a miss could he be for South Africa?
I feel like this is a much more important player than Maxwell. No disrespect, obviously, to Maxwell, because, you know, but I feel like Maxwell's a lot more. I mean, Maxwell's done everything in ODI cricket. He's won 2 World Cups. But Klaasen, I mean, he's still like 34, isn't he? Like, he's still got. I feel like it's a problem that we've had with South Africans and stuff. But in the past, because they haven't played much international cricket, so I feel like a lot of them retire to go and play for whether franchise cricket or something like that. I feel like Klaasen's probably making. I mean, he's made a lot of money in the He's making a lot of money in the IPL right now in terms of how much he was retained for. He's probably making a lot of money in different franchises across the world. So he probably just thought, you know, I'll probably just make myself a franchise player, you know. So I feel like that's a shame, because, you know, that's happened a lot with South Africans. You know, it happened to Dean Elgar a couple of years ago when he retired to go and play county cricket. You know, so they just don't play enough international cricket to be able to give like big contracts out for money and match what franchise cricket is doing, which is a problem.
Yeah, and I think for Klaasen as well, I mean, that T20 World Cup last year, obviously, South Africa, they had the game in their hands in that final against India. And obviously, with Klaasen as well, I mean, he's just destructive. Like I say, he could take the game away from you. And with, obviously, there is another T20 World Cup in February in India and Sri Lanka. I feel like he would have been a key asset there. And then the home ODI World Cup as well. In South Africa in 2027. So like I said, it's a big miss. But like I said, with all the franchise leagues and taking over, do you sort of see it clashing with international cricket the way it's going?
I mean, it already kind of is. I mean, as I said, you look at these retirements and stuff. This is the problem I've always had. Obviously, it's the age-old question right now, is like international cricket and test cricket like dying and stuff like that. But I mean, right now, I feel like it kind of is, because of, you know, and that's a shame. But I mean, international cricketers, you know, they are all human beings. So, you know, they need money. So, you know, you can't fault people for wanting to try and get money and stuff. They have to provide. So but it's a shame, and it is damaging to international cricket, obviously specifically Test cricket as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I feel like right now it's in a somewhat decent spot. I mean, obviously there's a bit of everything for everyone. Like you see ODIs, T20s, Tests, and obviously all the franchise leagues are all over different countries. So like I say, depending on the direction, if there's going to be more franchise cricket than international, that probably seems the more likely. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But for me, obviously, international cricket is always a pinnacle, always will be.
Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And I do think it will. But and right now it's in a good spot still. But let's just hope that in the future it doesn't get completely taken over.
Yeah. Moving on then, the T20 Blast started just last week, and a good start for Lancashire. They've won 3 out of the first 3 games in the North Group. And Jimmy Anderson coming back to play T20s, and he actually took figures of 3 for 17 against Durham in their last game. I mean, seeing Jimmy back in playing T20 cricket everything was crazy to me.
He's incredible, isn't it? At the age of 42, 3 for 17. I mean, they literally bowled him out straight like at the beginning. Yeah. But I mean, he got their top 3. He got all their top 3 out. Like it just shows you what an incredible bowler he is. Still, how he's the king of swing.
Yeah, and you could tell he misses it. I mean, obviously he was he was with Brendan McCullum part of the coaching setup as well. Yeah. I mean, he just wants to be involved, and obviously we love that about him. And obviously Lancashire, they're not doing too hot in the county championship in Division 2 where they sit bottom. So maybe obviously Jimmy can have a go there, and make an impact as well. So it's good on him.
I mean, if he's still showing that he can do it, I mean, in T20 cricket, I mean, it's never been a format that Anderson's been amazing in. So, by all means, do it with the red ball in county. He probably won't play he probably won't play every single game, obviously. But, I mean, still at the age of 42, he could still win Lancashire a lot of matches, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, he's a legend in English cricket.
Oh,
yeah. And obviously, Gloucestershire, they lost their opening 2 fixtures in the South Division, the 2024 champions. Like I say, it's still early days. Most teams have played 2 to 3 games. Obviously, I think it's this whole month that they're going to play, and then the finals days, I think September, I want to say, early September. Yeah. So like I said, a long season to go, and obviously, it's still up for grabs for any team, and that's my favorite part of the Blast. I mean, it's the fact that it could be so back and forth, and obviously, finals day is just who turns up on the day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's never easy now, especially with the English conditions and stuff like that. It's not as easy, when it comes to batting and stuff. But I mean, it's still early days. I mean, you only lose your first 2. You could still come back. A lot of teams. Quick word on Lancashire though. I want to mention Keaton Jennings quickly.
Ooh.
Like what a start. 185 runs in your first 3 games, and I mean, the stats are incredible for the first 3. I mean, he's averaging 62 and a strike rate above 170. Like that's unbelievable. That's an unbelievable start for somebody who I've never looked at Keaton Jennings and thought to myself like he's a T20 player.
Yeah,
like I've never looked at him that kind of way. But I mean, him and Luke Wells, they've got some partnership right now.
And the thing is with Jennings, I always feel like he's always had a point to prove. Even in the test arena, I remember a test against India. In India, he was obviously opening partnership with Alistair Cook, and obviously he didn't quite find the same footing throughout his career. But obviously for Lancashire, he's obviously been part of that side now for a long time, and like I say, if it'd be nice for him to obviously, if he can obviously help Lancashire to a trophy, whether it be the T20 Blast. So that'll be good for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now with the form he's showing, I mean, definitely could be on the way.
Moving on. Obviously, there's a series that took place between Pakistan and Bangladesh. Obviously, new era for them. Obviously, new coach. Seems like they're changing coach every term for them. Yeah. But former RCB coach, actually, Mike Hesson, and New Zealand coach as well. Yeah. It was. I wanted to bring this up because it felt like the start of a new era. I mean, they didn't have Babar Azam or Mohammad Rizwan in the squad, or Shaheen Afridi. And the series did take place straight after the PSL, the Pakistani Super League. And just watching it as well, it felt like there was a lot of young talent on the show.
Yeah, well, I think that's what Pakistan have to do. I think that they've been in a position the last couple of years when I feel like they've been so reliant on Baba Rizwan and Shane Shah that it's like, and they've not been in the harsh part about that is they've not been in the best of form in the last couple of years. Like we know how good a player Babar Azam is. Like when he's on his day, he's better than nearly than everybody. But I mean, he's not right now. Rizwan, Shane Shah, they're just not in the best of form right now. So I think right now it's really important for Pakistan to find younger talents who can come in and showcase that quality consistently, and then make themselves a permanent player, as opposed to just relying on the same players over and over again, even if they're not in the best of form. So I think I like the idea that Mike Hesson did. Getting young players in and giving them opportunities to prove themselves, and hopefully that he finds those players, gets them in, and they become consistent first teamers. And then when the likes of Barber and Rizwan and Shane Shah come back, then Pakistan will be a much bigger threat, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it feels like they have sort of fallen behind in terms of like the modern approach to T20 cricket, and obviously having the PSL is obviously a good indicator to see who's sort of up for it in terms of who's able to compete with the best. And obviously with the upcoming T20 World Cup in India, Sri Lanka, you want to fancy them in Asian conditions, but it's whether they can obviously string the team together. And obviously that upset they had in the last World Cup where they didn't even make it past the group stages, obviously losing to USA in that super over, is a big wake-up call for them, obviously, to go out and improve and be a better side.
As I said, I feel like they've relied so much on like certain like pillars of their team. Like, you go back to that T20 World Cup, Muhammad Amir, like he's still a very, very good bowler still. But I mean, he's been out of the international game for so long, and then he's coming back to represent Pakistan in the T20 World Cup, which I just don't agree with. Like Pakistan need to find new talent, and try and make them starters and make them like into consistent first team players.
Yeah, and also back them as well, even if they don't have a good games or series, back them to thrive. I think it was Mohammed Harris. He scored 100 off like 42 balls in the 30-20. But I remember him from the 2022 T20 World Cup in Australia. He had quite a good impact for them. But it's like since then he just had a rope because they were relying on the likes of Baba and Rizwan at the top.
Exactly. So that's the issue that they have. Those players have been such like permanent players for so long that anybody else who has a decent run of form, they don't give them enough time. And then when they they don't have the best of series, they get dropped, which I just don't agree with. Even if you have bad series, you should be backed. Like, definitely, you should 100% be backed. So,
and that goes to show. Obviously, form will be up and down, but obviously you've got to like help the player just obviously get into the swing of things. I think that's everything. Like I say, busy summer coming up in terms of cricket all over the world. Obviously, here in England as well. Obviously, it feels like things are starting to ramp up. Obviously, you've got the T20 series against the West Indies. I think West Indies, they should be a bit more competitive in that regard.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, you just want to see, especially when it comes to T20 cricket, you just want to see good cricket being played, man. A good aggressive cricket. But, hopefully West Indies do bring that. They'll have some experienced players coming back. So, hopefully they can do that. They can
like I said, players, and obviously players come back from the IPL, obviously Salt, whether he'll be in the running as well. So like I say, it's exciting times to be a cricket fan. It is every summer, I feel. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, it's just binge watching cricket. That's what I do. So
yeah, absolutely. Try and watch as much as you can.
So I think that's going to do it for the first episode of the Six and Out podcast powered by Sports News Blitz. I've been Bilal, joined by Dejan, and we'll be back. Check out all our socials, and we'll be back, and we'll see you next time.